Okay, this is going to be a short video, but and I don't think this actually worked out properly, but let's show you uh, the problem with Claude Code is that I've run into this where you essentially ask it to fix a bug, and then it will say, "Oh, I fixed the bug," but then it actually introduces two more bugs. And then so you say, "Okay, fix those two new bugs." But then in the process of fixing those two new bugs, it creates like four more. And so you keep going in this loop of like, "Oh, fix that. No, how about fix that? Now, how about fix that?" And so in theory, if the bugs are decreasing each time you do that, then it works properly. But if it's something where it's introducing more bugs, and it's also consuming a lot of tokens and wasting a lot of time, this is actually terrible. So that's kind of my explanation for why Claude Code sucks. I didn't really go into it in the previous video, but that's essentially my gripe with it, is that it's not using proper tools, and then it's also introducing more bugs than it's fixing. So you end up wasting a lot of time just trying to get it to correct itself. And so for somebody that knows how to code, you would just limit like the amount of AI that you use to very specific discrete boxes of code. The problem with this new tool, or at least I guess the way that I had been using it, was I thought the agent would go off and create code and create a lot of code, create the whole code base, and then the agent would have the context of all the code and then would be able to fix different issues with its own code and keep going forward from there. But I think what had happened was, in starting a new AI or like a new context, it didn't understand the code base very well. So it tried to do things that it couldn't do. And then in doing that, it screwed up the old code. So then it got into this weird loop, and it also wasted a ton of context and everything else like that. So I'm just going to say overall that I don't think it's very good for big projects, which is where I think you'd want to use an AI agent for. It's like a giant project. It's got to keep track of a lot of stuff. And then based upon that, it can kind of make edits and just go off and do its own thing. So, and not only that, but it also asks you almost every few minutes, is it okay that I do this? Is it okay to do this? Is it okay that I do this? And you can say like, yes, don't keep asking that, but it keeps finding things where it needs your input. So it's almost as if it's a human in the loop system, but it's just sitting there chunking, and you have to keep coming back to it and hitting yes, but it's also screwing up a lot. So you're sitting there and coming back and hitting yes. And so while it sounds cool in theory, it actually is really bad in practice. So I would just say to anybody who's thinking about using Claude Code, don't use it. Use Cursor instead. Cursor seems like it's much better managed. It's literally just, you as a developer, it will make files and things like that, but then you can tell it specifically where you want to make changes. And I think under the hood, um, you can change things around to where it's like not wasting a ton of money as well. So anyway, stick with Cursor. If anybody's curious about Claude Code, it's not worth it. Similar to like the Claude desktop use, where giving Claude access to your desktop seems cool in theory, but it actually is really slow and it really sucks. Can't handle pop-ups and other things like that. So I think it's going to get there, but we're not there yet. So short video. Don't watch the other long video. Bye.